the Master of Ceremonies mic? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Alois Jerewai. I've been given the privilege of being the Master of Ceremony for the grand opening of this courthouse. And we will shortly be commencing with the arrival of the Chief Justice. Most of the other judges and dignitaries have arrived and have been seated. And so those of you who have been invited, kindly take your seats at the allocated locations, and we will proceed with this morning's grand opening. Thank you. Just so that you will appreciate the order of the proceedings, the Military Guard of Honor, together with the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, will be the ones to assemble in a Guard of Honor, and I believe the Chief Justice will inspect the Guard of Honor before we proceed to the main event. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Guard of Honor now to march in, composite of Police, CIS, and Defense Force, Moim Barracks, 2RPIR. The Guard Commander is Billy Kua. The Guard 2IC, Inspector Josephine Pep. A CSM of the Guard of Honor, Niningi. Now the CSM will hand over the Guard of Honor to the Guard Commander, Major Billy Kua. And from there, the Guard Commander will march in the Guards. parade now is assembled, waiting to receive parade host, Lieutenant Colonel Gabriel Guebo, CO2 PIR, Moim Barracks. Ladies and gentlemen, I will kindly ask you to rise for the General Salute for the Guard of Honor. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, parade and the parade host will wait the arrival of the PNG, the Chief Justice, Honorable Chief Se Giboma Gibbs, Silaka GCL, KBE, CSM, OBE. Kindly be seated. Longo problem na ben shifting si umbrella. Just take the mic down. Finish his life as the man. Ladies and gentlemen, you may rise, please. Ladies and gentlemen, now Guard Commander will invite the reviewing officer to inspect the guard of honor and escorted by the parade host. Ladies and gentlemen, you can be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I will kindly ask you to be seated.
Yes, I have. let me say thank you to the members of the defense personnel. Second, yeah, but that is the second battalion. Second battalion troops from the Moyem Barracks. The members of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary and members of the correctional services. I want to say thank you for honoring us with your presence and giving a guard of honor for us. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And the reason I say thank you is that seeing you as members of our disciplinary forces, it was never a mistake to put our second battalion at the Moyem Barracks. You are located in a strategic position to take care of Papua New Guinea. The constitutional mandate of the defense force is to protect Papua New Guinea from outside forces. I know we have a small military force, but that was the reason that the defense personnel were placed there. And to the members of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary and to the correctional services, you are in a strategic location too, take care of the lives and properties of the people of this province. That is your constitutional mandate, to take care of people, their lives and their properties. Continue to do that. I know you work under very difficult circumstances, but you've sworn an oath to serve without fear or favor, sunshine or rain. You are here to serve the people of Papua New Guinea, and we are all here to serve the people of Papua New Guinea. We're in the same boat. Thank you very much. God bless. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now the guard of honor will farewell the Chief Justice and the oath. Ladies and gentlemen, now Parade Host will retire from the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, this is now the end of the parade. The parade commander now will march off the guard of honor. Ladies and gentlemen, give round of applause to composite, the guard of honor, whereby men and women of Moin Barracks to our PIR, CIS, and police, and the blend platoon of 2 PIR, Moin Barracks. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again a big thank you to Lieutenant Pombriao in officiating. The Guard of Honor had disbanded. For the time being, I ask you all to be seated. Thank you. Honorable Chief Justice Sir Giboma Gibbs Salika and the Chairman of the Judicial Buildings and Facilities Committee, Honorable Justice Ellenas Batari, I first of all want to thank you very much for giving me the privilege to be the Master of Ceremony on this occasion. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to especially welcome all the dignitaries on this not only important occasion, but a very historical occasion that goes further to consolidate the rule of our Constitution in this nation. And with that, I want to give specific acknowledgement of us being graced with the presence of the Chief Justice, Honorable Sir Gibbs Salika, Sir Giboma Gibbs Salika, my apologies, with all the titles he bears as was presented on his entry. Ladies and gentlemen, also graced among us are the honorable judges of the National Court, particularly from the Northern region and those associated with the Northern region. And I specifically take note of, again, Honorable Justices Ellenas Batari, the Judge Manager of the area comprising of East and West Sepik and Manus, Honorable Justice Kenneth Frank, together with the judges who have served either here or in the region, Justices Yova Geita, Justices Yova Geita, Narokobi, Murray, I beg your pardon, my own cousin Joseph Yagi. I nearly passed him. We are graced with all your presence today. And that is in the discourse and the discharge of justice. On the other scale, we have The National Justice Administration, as provided for under Section 158 of the Constitution, our Constitution, led by the Honorable Pila Niningi, Member for Mbongo Open, and Minister for Justice and is the Attorney General, current Attorney General. A big hand to all of them. And he leads in the National Justice Administration as separated from the judicial functions and discourse that are primarily in the hands of the Chief Justice and fellow judges, and down towards the lower courts we have led by His Worship Jimmy Tapat, the magisterial services. And I also noted my good friend Mr. Popaka, who's the deputy, I beg your pardon, who's the chief magistrate of Papua New Guinea. I beg your pardon there, Mr. Popaka. And he is here also with us. Now, in the order of the National Justice Administration, as would be in terms of ministry, we are graced with the presence of Honorable Richard Maru, Minister for Trade and Industry, and we also are graced with the presence of the two host governors, very, very critically, whose input and support in continuing with the maintenance, with the protection of this symbol of our Constitution, our constitutional democracy. Honorable Tony Wewak first, is visiting governor from the West Sepik province, the sister province, and the host governor, Honorable Alan Bird, the governor of East Sepik province. A big hand to all of them. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I also mention very quickly the presence of the official law officers represented in the province, the presence of the representatives from the Public Solicitor's Office, the State Solicitor's Office, or rather Solicitor General's Office. I pause here, I noticed the Solicitor General, Mr. Tanuvasa, welcome to Isipik. He is also here, and we are graced with his. I beg your pardon, I've just been informed the public solicitor and the public prosecutor, they are here as well. I see them now. And the Secretary, National Judicial Staff Services, and the Secretary of the Department of Justice and Attorney General. They're all here. And the Deputy Police Commissioner, I think it's Joan Clarkson. She's here as well. A big hand to her. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe there are dignitaries from within the two Sepik provinces. Deputy Chief Magistrate Josephine Kilage is also here. A hand for her as well. And all leaders of the two hosting provinces, East and West Sepik, I welcome you all. Without further ado, I will now call on, and it's Bishop Joe Rosinski, not Archbishop as is placed in the program. Correction, is Bishop Joe Rosinski, who I have the pleasure on behalf of the judiciary to invite to the podium to lead us in the opening prayer and proceed on to bless the new Wewak Courthouse in this grand opening. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will take a short time in straightening out the collapsed canopy. and we will continue with the ceremony. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the honored guests, the staff will be relocating your seats, and you will move to where you're being relocated, and we will continue with the proceedings. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reasonably relocated, and we will continue with the ceremony. The next, which should have come earlier, but possibly because it's correct, the school children will now sing the national anthem and raise the Papua New Guinea flag. This is the Monial Primary School. If everyone can stand for the national anthem and the flag raising. Thank you. All right, let's all give a big hand to the Monial Community School students for the flag raising and the national anthem. Thank you. Thank you very much, children. Without further ado, let's progress on to welcome speech to be delivered by the judge manager of the court area, including East, West, Sepik, and Manus. Honorable Justice Kenneth Frank, please proceed to the podium over there.
Good morning, everyone. Those who are not seated, you may take a seat. I join the Master of Ceremony in welcoming the Chief Justice, the Minister for Attorney General, and the governors of East and West Sepik Province, the Ministers of State, constitutional office holders, departmental heads, distinguished guests, and invited guests. On behalf of the National Court in Wewak, as the Staff Assistant Registrar Administration Officer and myself, I welcome each and every one of you to this occasion, the opening of the Wewak Law Courts. Thank you.
I have the pleasure of now inviting the chairman of the Court Buildings and Facilities, Honorable Justice Ellenas Batari.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. Like you, I'm also trying to put my notes together. But thank you for the introduction. Let me, my position will be short to put the stage for the speeches that are to come, and also the event. Chief Justice and Sir gives Salika and your good wife, Lady Rosika, our host, Governor of East Sepik Province, Alan Bird, and I see your counterpart from the other side of the border is West Sepik Governor Tony Wewak. I also acknowledge your presence. Minister for Justice and Attorney General, Honorable Minister for Trade and International Relations, Honorable Richard Maru, to constitutional office holders, both of whom are here. So acknowledge your presence with other important persons from your respective offices. Secretary for Justice and Secretary for NGSS. My fellow brother and sister judges. This is, I'm going to do something that is not on the program, but what I think and I believe is fitting for the occasion. Two very important persons, citizens of this country who were very much involved in the building of this and construction of this complex. I think, in my view, deserve respect. And in that regard, may I have all of you standing up and we pay 1 minute silence to the father of this nation, Honorable Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare and Justice Kiribom, if we can pay a 1 minute silence for those. And also recently, we have a passing of one very important politician from this place, Gabriel Caprice. I think it's all with due respect that we do that. Let's have a 1 minute silence in respect of those three men. Thank you. You may be seated. Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare, in 2009, when he was the Prime Minister, through his government, committed 9 million kina for this complex. And that was after a very long struggle, which I go through it as part of the history shortly, in trying to procure, in trying to get the government to fund Wewak courthouse. When we spoke to him about the struggles that we were going through with the national, through the national judiciary, on a very, very low budget then, he immediately not only promised, but also made sure that 9 million kina were given to the national judiciary and quarantined for this court complex. In 2017, Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare decided to call it a day in politics and go back to the roots. It was then that this place was ready for construction after a contract was signed, and a red carpet was rolled out for him here to do the groundbreaking for the construction of what it is now today will be called Wewak Law Courts. Justice, Honorable Justice Kiribom was a member of Court Infrastructure and Buildings and Infrastructure Committee from the inception in early 20s under the chairmanship of Salamoin Jia, who then became the Chief Justice of Papua New Guinea. He remained a member of the committee and very, very strong stalwart in that regard of seeing developments and the court rolling out developmental programs and infrastructure throughout the country. But more so after he was appointed to Wewak to be a resident judge here. I'm not sure whether it's the first or Justice Gaeta is. Yeah, to assist Justice Gaeta as judge administrator here. And being the member of the Court Infrastructure and Project Buildings and Infrastructure Committee, it was fundamentally instrumental in making sure that this building is up. It was so instrumental in converting this building from a one judge office space with one courtroom for the National Court to what it is today, that you will see chambers for 3 judges and I think 3 courts. We'll find out soon. He was the most vocal member of my committee, and I think we paid him a lot of respect when he speaks, and the building was virtually built according to his likes and dislikes. And one thing that will feature, and the family will remember him, and I certainly will, is the color feature of this building. That was from Justice Jerewai, and it is only right for us to say thank you to him and to his family for his contributions, and in that matter, for the 2 great men of this nation for their contribution towards this, what is to happen today. This building, as I indicated, is a very, very long history. Started around 2000 from the chair of Arnold Lamet, who was then the Chief Justice, and we engaged frameworks initially to put up a structure that would house 1 judge, because that was then the thinking, with several offices for the magisterial services, the district courts. Samari Kapi was the next person, and then next Chief Justice, and then Salamo Injiat took over from the Samari. It went through 2 contractors. The first contract was terminated on course, and from 9 million kina, when we retendered the project, it went up to 13 million. Of course, because of many reasons, and then the additions that came up. We were then working on the budget of 17 million, and we thank the past and present government for the funding assistance that they continue to give us in relation to this particular court. So from 17 million kina, we completed this building on 21.2 mil, maybe a little bit more. And so what you see in front of here is the biggest structure that has been delivered through the NGSS or through the National Judiciary by government funding. It is now the 2nd court building we have opened for the National Court Judiciary, the first being at Biala. Biala was a sub-registry, a little smaller, smaller than this one, a lot smaller than this one, but equally impressive as this. This is pitched on a different high-tech structure and high-tech services. And what you see here is possibly the only structure you can see in Papua New Guinea. We will not report it. We may not duplicate this anywhere else because of the 21 million kina mark. It might cost a little bit more elsewhere. But the good, wonderful features about this, this building is that it also takes into account both the national court and the district court. So district court will have a full registry here, and as well as the national court. It will also be enough to serve if our proposals for a three-tier court comes into fruition. Then this building was built to also cater for the courts of appeal. And I don't know whether there's going to be any extensions, but this building was built in mind. So from one courtroom for the judge and 3 or 4 courtrooms for the national court, we did a lot of variations through His Honor Justice and through my committee to now deliver on record for Wewak 3 courtrooms and 3 chambers for the National Court and the Court of Appeal. It's, as I look back, the opening and commissioning of this great building today seems to be, and the day was almost the same replica of what happened in Biala. We had showers like this. We had showers like, you know, from the beginning, and people didn't go away. They were all here. It's the same here. We can think what you may, but for me, it's a showers of blessings. Showers of blessings for these 2 great buildings. Now, let me just say challenge going forward. Through my committee, we embark on a lot of these infrastructures throughout the country, but maybe not of the same buildings as this, but definitely on a smaller scale. We're trying to replicate many courthouses around the country. And before I forget, with this one and with our constitutional office holders, what you will find here is a space for the public prosecutor, a public solicitor, and the CBS. It's never featured in any other court. So this is the first time also, and that we're delivering for our people here. It will be called will be known as a sub-regional. Our regional court complex will be in Leh for the Momase region. So Wewak will look after East and West Sepik, and Manus and possibly Medang, while Medang can also be looked after from Leh or come under the umbrella of Leh. So moving forward, there are districts here, and I named some of them, or 1 or 2 of them, that we're looking at. We have the sub-regional court complex in Wewak to serve the whole province and surrounding provinces. We other possible sites and other possible court circuit areas, and the late Chief Justice, the late Justice Kreer and my brother Justice Gaeta also showed us some possibility on circuiting to other areas within the province. Maprik is one that we should do something about. Ambunti for Ambunti and Drekikia, also places that, and I think Ambunti is the center for Drekikia Ambunti. Is that right? Yeah. And then of course Angoram. But last time I visited Angoram, there was nothing there. So those are possibilities. And what are the challenges for us? Of course, funding is one. Technical services and all that we can provide. And let me leave with this note that a lot of projects around the country are now being implemented or being funded cooperatively or co-funded with their DDAs. And a number of honorable members of parliament are also coming to us, and we are in contact with their officers and their DDAs to build courthouses in their districts. Raba is on the way. We should be, and Chief Justice should be doing the groundbreaking there shortly. Namatanai is the other, that the members have come very strong with funding. It will also be the next on the CJ's calendar this year for groundbreaking. And one or two little islands in Samarai, Losuya is another one that we also have funding from the DDA. So for Wewak, maybe this is one area that we could cooperatively and participate in building a courthouse either in Drekikia, in Ambunti, Angoram, or Maprik. I think Maprik should be the priority here, and some of us who remembered Maprik, we were sitting, the court was then sitting in the council chambers, but I don't know where they're sitting now. It would be good. So if I can leave with you those challenges, and my committee, our secretariat and the secretary are ready to move forward with projects, and we intend under the CJ's programs for this year to again roll out. Now that we have opened 2 court complexes, we should be looking at building other places. So, and of course, that will be a matter for us. So once again, thank you one and all. I am doing the acknowledgement at the end, but let me stop there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Justice Ellenas Batari. Before I proceed to call on the Attorney General, it would be remiss of me not to also acknowledge, first of all, that the Registrar of the National and the Supreme Court of Justices is also with us today. And no courtroom and a presiding judge is in the full presence of the discharge of justice if there are no lawyers in there. And among them are private practitioners. I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge that Mr. Moses Murray is here, a senior lawyer from this province. Mr. Mosoro, another very senior lawyer from this province. They are here for this very historical and important event. And those who I may not mention here, please appreciate that we are very pleased with your attendance on this opening. With that, I want to also make a remark that our Constitution is a living document. But because it's a document, you members of the public will not see it. You hear of it, but you do not tangibly see it. What is now, with all its grandeur, this building that is the courthouse, as Justice Ellenas Batari said, in the planned extension of the judiciary into rural areas as well. This is representative and a physical presence of our Constitution, because in the judiciary is vested the responsibility to protect the Constitution, interpret the Constitution, and apply the Constitution. In the judiciary, among the honorable judges, including the Chief Justice and the justices accompanying him today, is vested this great responsibility. Because only in accordance with Constitution, all other aspects of society must be protected. And for the public, because of the grandiose appearance of this building, the public must not be intimidated. You must see this building as a venue for you to seek justice. Sui juris, you who have the full capacity can seek your legal rights. That's the Latin word for that principle. And another, there are many principles, but another very important one is universitas juris. That's the Latin for the totality of the rights and liabilities of persons. This is where you seek all of this, among many, many others. Our Constitution also provides for Bill of Rights as to the general freedoms and the qualified freedoms, qualified rights. Transported out of mainly the US Constitution, United States of America, which Constitution had gone through 27 amendments. But the first 10 of the amendments are known as the Bill of Rights. And those Bill of Rights are well and truly incorporated into our Constitution under the general rights of all persons and the qualified rights of citizens. And that is a remark which I do not want to presuppose to be a matter for the Honorable Chief Justice to address in his keynote speech. As Master of Ceremony and a first practitioner in this town, private legal practitioner in this town, although no longer, it is important I convey this. And to the people of Kreer Heights, the citizens of Kreer Heights specifically, among whom I was a resident right across there in that house overlooking this courthouse. And many, including the Chief Justice, Honorable Justice Ellenas Batari, late Justice Kreer, have been my guests, and we have made all the effort to make them feel at home while they are away from their families on circuit here. And I really appreciate and acknowledge this relationship that goes way back, including the fact that Honorable Justice Ellenas Batari and I were the same graduates in 1978 from Legal Training Institute. The Chief Justice was only 1 year behind us. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Honorable Pila Niningi, Member for Imbongo and Minister for Justice and the Attorney General of Papua New Guinea, to address you. Thank you.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. A lot of important people are here. I will only mention few. Please don't be embarrassed that I didn't mention you. First, an important person is the Chief Justice of Papua New Guinea, Sir Gibbs Salika. Lady Salika, you grace us your presence and I appreciate it. Governor of this province, I appreciated your contribution, you being here, you're my tambu. That's even bringing our relation closer. The chairman of Infrastructure Development and Justice, Ellenas Batari, Justice Joseph Yagi, Justice Jacinta Mari, Justice Lova Ngeta, Justice Kenneth Frank, Justice Wajul Narakobi, and of course he's a doctor too. I've not forgotten. The Registrar of Supreme Court and National Court, the Secretary for the Judicial Services, the Secretary for the Department of Justice, Dr. Erikua, Public Solicitor, Public Prosecutor, all the other relevant officers here in this day. And importantly, the other is the neighboring province, the governor is here. I left it to the last, an important person, and my colleague minister. Thank you very much, Mr. Richard Maru, to be here with us this morning. I guess many of you have been here. I make a mention to cover the Deputy Police Commissioner is here, and Deputy Solicitor and the Solicitor General is here. Thank you for you all being present this time. Ladies and gentlemen, this demonstrates an important occasion. I would have thought I would ask everybody to rise, to stand up, for pay special recognition, respect to late Sir Michael Sumare. But it has been already done. I will not repeat. But Sir Michael and him, we've gone a long way. He's a personal friend. I did not attend the funeral at the time when he passes on. I was down with COVID-19. I stayed in the hospital for 4 months. thank God that God gave me a life. When I was in the hospital, I heard that Sir Michael was passed on. So Michael is important simply because you CPIC may think that so Michael didn't do much. You play talk, you play talk. And place pro Papua look him. I mean, no carem one him development ikam. I mean, no walk him display something. That's all me talk pitching lo me like you all CPIC long RM MOSM. Papua making one plus strong plus something lo this la country. Strong plus something. Inoka sabe blongen. Maniko and taplong grade 12 level. Only person maybe at the time was Manika degree longen, Father John Momes. All narbla man inoka sabe blongon. All same. Me at long district blomi or Southern Islands. And one bla man, I'm still alive. M2, member blong, Kaugarabe, Yanombelo, educated. All this, no sabe man, go one them long put him so-called constitution together. And one big plus something only come up him. Now you can send up him courthouse. You can run around, administer, Attorney General can go. When a man, you may go. Me plus san up long constitution. Me like talk thank you long and all the leaders. Only go pass long and no ka sabe long all. That's all put him constitution. Now, long tupla country, inside long world, it got record written constitution as Indiana and Papua New Guinea. Blong India, big pla. Blong Mibla is size to come down. That's all. We at the time were fortunate to kiss him sabe blong all, put him on them. Now come up with this la constitution. It's a detailed constitution. It spells out everything. Or same na me talk. Sipik no can talk or same. Somare you know walking one plus something. No got. Somare walking one plus big plus something. Let me go. Constitution a Ngari mipla. Constitution, it talk him mipla God same. Constitution talk, you stand up, you stand up. Constitution talk, you sit down, you sit down. And one blam big plus something, or make him namilak talk, thank you long. And place plus somare, time my man in die, me no come house cry, that's all name this plus. It's appropriate, that's all. Me must talk, thank you, me must recognize him. Court system, me look him awesome, this la bieling, you black amavim, me amamas. Your primary function is to deliver justice. Don't let these things take away from you. Your primary function, you must handle Chief Justice and judges. Your primary function is to dispense justice. That is your primary function. Constitutional duty is that's your responsibility. Now, Mr. Wilson, Emba come up. Now, me like talk thank you this time. Me like talk thank you long assembly. Walk you black walk him. Chief Justice, me like talk thank you long. And then it long leadership blow you. Now this black court stand up. Now BLA long time me black go back now. Me black on help him. Same now. You're contributing. You're making meaningful contribution to this. So me play amamas or same chairman staff. You walk him good blah walk. Papa God bless him. Now all these judges were involved in making this happen. So this courthouse, M1 black courthouse, meeting good blah long. It can come up regional center too. We start talk. Civic in have come up regional center. In not later soul, it can come up too. So he can come up because probably this country come. What best me black can give him? Name the soul me black can give him to. To me like to thank you long. All contributions made, Governor Blong, province, long Southern Islands where we come long and people got more money. But I don't see developments. That's all. You make him slowly. That's all. Lig money. You make him best use. Then Governor Milak talk thank you to you. Now you give him support on this law. Court infrastructure. Milak talk thank you to you. Or same you play involved long defense too. You help him. Now me talk thank you. Or same what are you doing for the defense? Good play long you play walk him. So in a little, but certainly you make him contributions. Now me talk thank you long and. Long this la, me like talk also. Now long this la time, me also make him gaman long. Marabe also gaman, me like talk thank you long this la time. In a long time last year, with me and Chief Justice, me black approach him, Prime Minister. Me black got planned infrastructure development, me black got planned needs. Now please, you give him me black attention. Now me like talk thank you also. Prime Minister and Gaman Blongen, in giving big attention, and me like talk thank you Longen. Inogat Gaman lo pass, is recognize him. That's all this like Gaman, giving big recognition. Now, long display, here 2023, only allocate him 230 million. Now, next year, all promos long giving people 310 million, then we'll give him long 2024. So we will continue to fund. Government is committed. Now, you must work hard. Time before me being associate, me bla try to kiss him all governors attention, me bla no sa kiss him. Me sabe also now you have a chance. You one of you. I've been a little small as I am, little as I am. I've been associate. I know what the need is like. I know what you're going through. So I will go between. So me bla me by. I'll be bla talk sanab long judiciary name long and judiciary name long government prime minister. Now we can do it. We can do more. We will achieve more. With this. All ground minister, menarla minister colleague belong me stablo here. Only like kiss him, me bla raises longan. So me think also me can kiss him more long all. So you may pray now, Papa God help me bla long. Make sure that justice system must stand up. We must practically put money where the mouth is. So this government is shown that put the money, they support. In a long time, last week, Wednesday, mixing one plus submission long NEC, long meal, like giving report lo parliament, long work long judiciary. Now this time, all Prime Minister express him, also all by continue funding. Now every Prime Minister too, continuously, by funding him talk. Also, nami blakat, by funding by come long government yet. We have to do what we can do. We can build more courthouse. We can get it down. Now, time is now. We'll never leave it for tomorrow. Tomorrow may not come. So, me like talk also, government is committed. One important man, me lose him ting announce him at the first place is, forgive me, Chief Justice Mr. Lawyer, Deputy Chief Justice Chief Magistrate Mr. Lawyer, Deputy Chief Magistrate too is to play calm na stop. Now, me sorry also me no recognize him that's all. Government he knows how recognize, he knows how forget him. Government, before government he knows how put him money long all magistrates. This like government, me put him more money. And next year, next budget, me committee also, me by putting more money long ministerial services. Long Wednesday only discussion long end. All money like him. One district he might got magistrate. All same now. Me talk, but you me got magistrate nothing. You put the money where the mouth is. You put the money now, make him commitment. So me like assure him you, Chief Magistrate, all same, by me plan up, recognize him, continue funding. Narapla important institution, all knows how look before. Chief Justice is chairman of this institution. Also, Lord, legal training institution. Before all money knows how put him money. This time, we put him 10 million. So we'll increase now, and we got big plan of working big also. And big challenge is stop want them, me want them. And me want them Chief Justice lo kara mi gona, me go Kraina, me must get what we can get. So me like to thank you, Lord, you Chief Justice. At least you work long, courthouse. At the same time, come back now, look long. Me plan develop him courthouse. He got infrastructure developments. He may make him. Also, me like to thank you, Lord, you along. Take him this stand. Now, chairman too. Me amamas also you take him bold stand. Go forward. You play working quota, so outside you play infrastructure. Me amamas long end. Long this layer judge and all law and justice, all me black is him. All allocate him 410 million. And long, close to 30% of the total budget me black is him. So me like talk thank you once again. Me like place him record long. Government block today long look sabe long and also Prime Minister yet talk long and. Suppose me black at country. Country, you know, mean also road, bridges, you know, not come up country. You don't have schools. All this land, no got him secondary. Money like putting money. You look along. Vibrant justice system. It's worth putting money into it. Also, me blood government think long. Putting money where the mouth is simply because you must get vibrant justice system work. All must look him also. They feel comfortable to come to court. Also, the such billing also. Legally man or big plan man or sabe man or you know a sabe man. All you can get belevi. All you can come to this place. Long this last. All you been in a long time ago finish. Me play all cut court. Plan demands now sabe also. Me only thing also. Delay judgment. Can talk to soul. How much judge will stop Narem court? I'm all 40 flat soul, yeah. Me plan no got planned the judge. So long this like government now increase him. He go long. 60 judges. So 60 judges by RM court. Now that's all me plan no recruit him 60 yet. Belong on him. Me plan no send him one law Judges Act. And by next parliament long, October 3rd by mixing parliament, na parliament by Nablong, sends him this like on Nablong. Me propose him some 200 judges. That's all 200 me talk here. Emblo reserve that's all. You me, you don't have 200 all grab by me put him. Law is that talk of same that's all. Law 2 is our talk of same. NEC must give him approval. NEC must talk your right, you mix him. One of them I must judge go because NEC sabe long how much money only put in. So long next October, maybe sends him this law. He go 40 limit. He go nablo 200. So we can flexibility. Also, only give him approval long. 20 more judges. So we will accommodate. Also now. Recruiting all judges. Please, man must drink water, Pastor. Me man talk, you know, machine fire up. Now me plakat. Also, all judges, me plak. Now by me go back on this law, now me go sentencing. Narbla law, big pla law, by me go long end. Always by me restructuring court system, high court. Me plan by sentencing, law by sentencing long. High court or big pla court long end. Now me got 2 pla court that's all. Supreme Court, na National Court that's all is have. 2 pla big pla court. Now long this time, all judges, All yet, all sit down and look, and we've come this far, close to 450 years, Mibla come. Now Mibla must sentence him, put him Narabla court, he go inside. So now Mibla by got court of appeal. You may got national court, court of appeal, then Supreme Court. Important something. All these courts, he got judge belong only yet. He no na same judge, but he go out, he can't have na come down, no God. Now, Mibla got same judge, all RM. So, all RM National Court, RM is up, Bian he can't have. Now, RM Supreme Court, and Bian come down. Now, next, Mibla talk long, no God. National Court judge must RM. Supreme Court of Appeal, Court judges all barem. Bian, he can't have Supreme Court, and Supreme Court judge the sol barem. So I'm one big plus is meeting thing lo mi bla kissimi come. So me like ask him, old man, Mary Christians, you me pray or sem, big plus is. You me like come at him this la posia. You me like put him on our blab. House can put down. If we don't do it right, house, Papa God must give me blood ting long. He goes straight now. House in on up and down, that's me blood surukim post as all. So now you me like send him now. Kiss him no blood, no blood, Cody come and said, he got big blood shake. That's all. How we do it, we blood many blood, me blood work good, meeting also, but me blood have come up in this la. Because all judges, all yet all involved long this la something. Now, when in practical difficulties, all got long and only put him one time, na me like talk, thank you long all. This la one bla big bla. Na two bla or three bla member long parliament, the RM staff, this la by come long. Next parliament, my black is me come long, constitutional change. Not black Senate, me black by kissing come long and arbitration. You know, lo quota, so me black and talk to come. Na arbitration on by talk this la court arbitration bills by come. Now establish clear him now by go parliament. So arbitration bills by go all law by me bakara come. So all this la domestic arbitration and beyond international outside too. So this la all bills by me play bill me talk yeah. Olisa call him long why law paper law come up yet. All me blasa call him bill. That's all time law come up act the parliament or you law come up. So also na me call him bill. That's all bill also me have lawyer too na me talk place for lawyer concern. You know can power long and also bill or something. Law me bla like me gonna me bla prepare him stuff. So next by me bla kiss him all this la. So big plus is by come up. One thing this la, me sabe also we can go further. Now me like talk thank you also. Last time debate, Governor Blong, ECP, debate, supporting me plan, me talk thank you long and. Also Tambuna, you will still support. So me talk thank you long and. Now, Honorable Richard Maru too. Now Governor Blong, sundown too. I'll to play staff na me appeal long also. All by supporting me plan long this plan. All important bills. This has been outstanding for quite some time. Now that we're making an attempt to get it to Parliament, at least we will knock at the door in Parliament. We will know whether we can able to get through or not. Big plan long and constitutional amendments. We'll make him. One time this la, please me talk plant in you. Me larem supply staff. Long next round me carry me gonna me talk long and long this la time me like talk thank you long. All people blow ECP also me like talk also now you've got better court facilities. Look at them this la courthouse. Look at them good na me can album me can carry me go. No can go street na carry this la people you long fight lo tamblo you know. Constitution talk or right lo street fight. This la constitution talk. Do you like fight or this is a place you come and fight? Suppose you like making one you can come cross lo here. Me bla walk him talk your right. You try you can box him you come. Inside on this place. No long narbla place. No God law is talk no God law no can box him outside. Boxing inside long in this place. This institution. Yeah, boxing also Mi talk long and boxing also mi no talk long. Banji go come to boxing lo fight. No ga CP game talk place mouse go come na. You win. No God. This la place mi bla put him long and CP ki sabelo this la something. Mouse all karam na mi talk. Court house blow you blogger. One time this la milak talk thank you na people belong speak milak talk thank you long special thank you one time more so Michael been helping me support up long and me look na me support him all this time he come time blow finish long and Papua New Guinea no sabe he go backside long house na he go outside long he come long speak na me talk no God people blow in bongo talk no God Papa must go inside the front door and I must walk out. So me yet me carry me go to place na me carry me go long and me walk out the front door and me thank you long and mat is stop close to me and by blessing me play long is sipik one them in bongo one them this la Papa God blessing me play thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Pila Niningi, Attorney General and Minister for Justice, for that very heartwarming speech.